that what you have in evidence to the witness to see if he can recognize it and identify it.
Yes, this is the tape recorder I purchased at Walmart on my way home from meeting with the state police in Harlan, Kentucky. I purchased this at Walmart in Corbin and took it straight to my house.
And is that, on that recording device, does that contain your conversation where Shelby called you
Yes,
on your telephone? And you recognized his voice, and you recognized his ID on your phone?
yes.
Your Honor, I would introduce this machine recorder at this time, and we would ask to play it for the jury.
Given the nature of the objections that were posed earlier, and we had some hearing on it in Harlan earlier, I think it would be appropriate to ask the jury to step out and listen to it and see if he can identify the voices on it before we go any further. Okay? So let's do it that way. All right? Correct. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have a brief little proceeding outside of your presence. So I'm gonna let you step out for about 10 minutes while we do that. Some things we have to do outside the presence of the jury before we go further. So please, same admonition as before. Don't form any opinions or talk to anyone about any of this. And just wait outside and we'll bring you back in just shortly. Okay, all right. Now, we're out. The jury is out of the courtroom, and I think the appropriate thing to do now is to
Let's give it a try.
listen to it outside the presence of the jury, and see if it can be authenticated from.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it. Thank you. Could we, and you see that microphone in front of you. We have to be careful about getting it close enough, or not too close, or not too far away. But let's try to see where we get the best play on that recording. The phone's ringing, and you're turning it on. Yes.
Hey, bro. Hey, buddy. Buddy, I was kind of asleep, bro. You called a minute ago. I woke up. Okay. Hey, you're all right, brother. Hey, you still got them pennies? Yeah. All right, cool. Them brown fish? Yeah, bring them, man. I'll buy them. What do you want for them? The gas money, I Ben. You need to start calling. You want me to give them up? You want me to give them a holler? Yeah. We holler at him. They got to get me. Hey, let me ask you a question. What's up? Between me and you, Ernie called me last night, you know, after you guys left. He called me at 3 o'clock last night. Yeah. Did you tell him that you went up there and killed old dude? Yeah, he knows it. Through the shoulder and everything. You hear me? Yeah. He knows it. I told him, I said, Ernie, I won't trust you right here. You think I can trust you? Yeah. You think I can, Jim, for real? Yeah, he's your brother, man. He won't do nothing. You know what? He loves you, man. All he does is talk about Shelby, you know? Hey, he called me last night, man. You hear me? At 3 o'clock. When I was fast to fucking sleep, you hear me? At 3:40 something. He called me. And I was talking to him. And, man, he sounded like he really loves me. You know what? Yeah, he's worried about you, dude. He don't want you to kill nobody else, man. He don't, bro. He talks like he knows that guy, that king, man. Yeah. He knows him, you hear me? Yeah. If you plan on taking him with you, man, is there any way you could do it and not kill nobody? Just like, you know, rob them and tie them up or something? And get out of there? That's what I told him. I said, I won't if you get the handcuffs for me. Yeah. If you get the handcuffs, if I have to fucking get them. If you don't, I'm going to have to, you hear me? So if I get them handcuffs, then I can get some shit to tie them up with. You feel me? Handshakes, listen to stuff. Yeah. But if you don't get the handcuffs, I'll take you a chance to tie them up. I'm never using that type of morning. Never using that type of morning. Is that what you use on Ronnie? I use it on my lock, bro. And zip ties, they just break them up. They broke six zip ties. You give me 6 of them. Ronnie King here? Yeah. They just break them left and right. I mean, big loads of duct tape to these broke the whole fucking road. They don't see how he did it. You feel them was doing so much. You hear me? Yeah. Then I just looked. And he was getting up the ground when I come in there, and there was a pump shotgun in the corner. I just wanted to pick my face up and you stupid son of a bitch. Then after that, I was looking for a hammer or something. You know what I'm saying? I could kill him real quiet with. Yeah. Then I started just taking his mouth and his fucking nose and shit up. Then he just started fucking adrenaline his, bro. And he was, I ain't never seen him like that strong, man. He never really leave no choice but kill him, did he? He really did leave no choice. When he broke his last time, I said, I told you, motherfucker. And I took a film of him, and he grabbed a hold of me. When he grabbed a hold of me, I went, oh, you hear me? Yeah, I mean, he would have killed you, I guess, if you wouldn't kill him. Goddamn right. They knew he was out, I'm gonna say out front of me, but dude, he was breaking that fucking shit, man, so I put it on him. I put a whole goddamn roll on him, Ronnie. A whole roll, bro. You hear me? Yeah. And he broke it like it wasn't nothing. Hey, Ernie's calling me, man. Let me get that, and I'll call you back. We'll set something up for later. All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
Is that the recording you made?
That's it.
Do you recognize that recording and that device?
Yes.
Did you recognize the number of the person that was calling you at the time?
Yes.
And who was that?
Shelby Shell.
And had you talked to Shelby Shell previously, and did you recognize his voice on that recording?
Yes.
Why did he call you?
I had called him previously, trying to get him to talk about that. But I had had several phone calls with him over the several weeks. You know, like I said, I had him come in and do work at the house, and I loaned him money. My wife gave his wife a bag of makeup one night.
But on the day, do you know the date of this recording?
Are we going to continue in front of the jury, or?
I'm trying to lay the foundation to admit this as...
He's laying the foundation for how he knows his voice and that kind of thing, so go ahead.
At the time you made this recording, what was the date?
I couldn't tell you the date. I know it was the day after we went to Harlan.
You went to Harlan.
The morning after we went to Harlan.
You went to Harlan on the 25th of February,
Okay, so that would have been the next morning.
26th.
Yes.
Is this an accurate representation of your complete conversation with him that morning on the 26th of February, 2013?
Yes.
Your Honor, we move to introduce this as evidence in this case.
How do you want to do this? Do you want to ask him questions now about the authentication, Ms. Karam, or you want to wait later until the jury comes in, or repeat this in front of the jury? I didn't want the jury hearing it until we got some foundation and some foundational evidence in the record.
I think if the court just note our objection, and then,
Well, I think he's sufficiently authenticated under Rule 901. I think that's the rule. From my memory, I think that's the rule. So your objection's overruled.
Right.
Okay.
Your Honor, I guess, I'd like to correct the behavior.
The objection's overruled.
Okay.
All right. So let's bring. We're ready to bring the jury in, and then you can move to introduce it.
Yeah, yes. Blood sugar's getting a little low.
Hmm?
Yeah, no starters.
Uh-oh. Okay. Okay.
it's pretty warm in here.
It is also.
We're ready.
Okay. We're going to bring the jury back in now.
But
So the ruling is it's sufficient. It's authenticated and it's admissible as
Can you hear it?
what it purports to be.
Which number?
I don't know what number we're up to. 8. It would be Commonwealth's Exhibit 8.
8. Your Honor, Commonwealth move to admit the recording and the device as Commonwealth's Exhibit 8.
Sustained.
Mr. Collins, this recording that you made, would you play it, please, for the jury?
Yes.
Have the volume and try to adjust it as best you can for the microphone so it's recorded into the record, please.
Hello? Hey, bro. What's up, buddy? Buddy, I was asleep, bro. You got a minute ago. I woke up. Hey, that's, oh, you all right, brother? Hey, you still got them pennies? Yeah. All right, cool. Bring them, Pete? Yeah, bring them, man. I'll buy them. What do you want for them? Just gas money, I need. All right. So? Yeah. Hey, what time you gonna come down? I don't wait on you get out, babe. You need to put time. You want me to give them up? You want me to give them a holler? Yeah. You holler at him. They got to come get me. Hey, let me ask you a question. What's up? Between me and you, Ernie called me last night, you know, after you guys left. He called me at 3 o'clock last night. Yeah. Did you tell him that you went up there and killed old dude? Yeah, he knows it. Through the shoulder and everything, you hear me? Yeah. The jury, he knows it. I told him, I said, Ernie, I won't trust you right here. You think I can trust you? Yeah. You think I can Jim for him? Yeah, he's your brother, man. He won't do nothing. You know what? He loves you, man. All he does is talk about Shelby Lou, you know? Hey, he told me last night, man. You hear me? At 3 o'clock. When I was trying to fucking sleep, you know, at 3:40 something, he called me. And I was talking to him. And, man, he sounded like he really loves me. You know what? Yeah, he's worried about you, dude. He don't want you to kill nobody else, man. He don't, bro. He talks like he knows that guy, that king, man. Yeah. He did, he knew him, you hear me? Yeah. If you plan on taking him with you, man, is there any way you could do it and not kill nobody? Just like, you know, rob them and tie them up or something? And get out of there? That's what I told him. I said, I won't if you get the handcuffs for me. Yeah. If you get the handcuffs, that's how they're supposed to get me. If you don't, I'm going to have to, you hear me? So if I can get them handcuffs, then I can get some shit to tie them up with. You feel me? Bed sheets, rip it and strip. Yeah. But if you don't get the handcuffs, see, then I took you a chance to tie them up. I never use that type of more. Never use that type of more. Is that what you used on Ronnie? I used it on my lock, bro. And zip ties, he was breaking them up. They broke six zip ties. You hear me? 6 of them. Ronnie King did? Yeah. He was breaking them left and right. I mean, big loads of duct tape. He broke the whole fucking road. I don't see how he done it. 2, 3 of them was doing so much. You hear me? Yeah. Then I just looked. And he was getting off the ground when I come in there, and there was a pump shotgun in the corner. I just walked up, kicked him right in the face. I said, you stupid son of a bitch. Then after that, I went looking for a hammer or something. You know what I'm saying? I could chill him real quiet with. Yeah. Then I started just taking his mouth and his fucking nose and shit up. And then he just started fucking adrenaline in his, bro. And he was, I ain't never seen him like that strong, man. Well, he didn't really leave no choice but kill him, did he? He really didn't leave no choice. And when he broke it the last time, I said, I told you, motherfucker. And I put the pillow over him, and he grabbed hold of me. When he grabbed hold of me, I went, oh, you hear me? Yeah, I mean, he would have killed you, I guess, if you wouldn't kill him. Goddamn right. Hey, dude, he was out, I'm going to say out front of me, but dude, he was punching that fucking shit. I put it on him. I put a whole goddamn roll on him, Ronnie. A whole roll, bro. You hear me? Yeah. And he broke it like it wasn't nothing. Hey, Ernie's calling me, man. Let me get that, and I'll call you back. We'll set something up for later. All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
Is that about 4 minutes long, that conversation?
Yes.
We'll not play it again, but you've listened to it several times, I'm sure.
Yes.
Well, we won't play it again now. it's into evidence. The jury will have the evidence for their deliberations. Let's briefly, it is hard to hear, even with that recording and in this room. But briefly, you were there, of course, present during the conversation. Did I understand you to say, ask him a question at the beginning about pennies?
Yes, I did.
And what was that?
I asked him if he still had the pennies.
And were these the pennies that you testified to earlier that he had brought to your house trying to sell you coins and things?
Yes.
And what did he tell you?
Told me he did still have them.
And you said, and what did you tell him?
I said, how much do you want for them?
Then you go on in the conversation. One time you mentioned, does your brother know that you killed that man?
Yes.
And what did he reply to you? What did you understand him to say?
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, he knows.
Yes.
Did he talk to you about his brother calling him at 3 o'clock and at 3:40 and how he, I think, what does he say there?
Sounded like he really loved me. That's what he said.
And then what did you tell him when he said his brother really loved him? What did you tell him?
I told him he does really love him. He's worried about him.
Anything else?
And you know, all he talks about is Shelby Lee. That's
He's
what he
worried
refers
about
to him
you.
as.
He's worried about you. And at some point we hear laughter. You recall what that was about?
It was about him killing the guy. You know, he responded with laughter.
Yeah. There was a cough behind me. I didn't quite catch the laugh at the
Yes.
time. But
He was describing what he did and just laughed.
laughed. What was this about handcuffs? He talks about wanting you to get him some handcuffs.
Well, he was actually wanting Ernie to get him handcuffs. Ernie's a fugitive recovery agent, or he was at that point. At some point, he has.
Is that like Dog, the bounty man that goes out and finds people
a
and
bounty hunter. Yes, sir.
takes them back? We don't do that in Kentucky because we don't have that kind of bondsman. But
True.
in certain states, they find them to go their bond, like Dog.
Ernie was a licensed bondsman in Tennessee.
So is that he wanted some handcuffs? What did he want with handcuffs?
Well, he said, you know, in the phone call, I told him, you know, if you're going to take Ernie with you, you know, can you not kill him? Just tie him up. And he said, yeah, if Ernie will give me the handcuffs. He said, I told him, if you give me the handcuffs, I won't have to kill nobody. Then I can handcuff him and tie him up.
Ernie knew his brother. He wouldn't give him handcuffs.
He would not give him the handcuffs.
What was the problem? Did he tell you about why he needed handcuffs?
Yes, he described not being able to tie Mr. King up. He said that he unsuccessfully tried zip ties. He said he broke 6 zip ties, and then he said he used a whole roll of duct tape, and that Mr. King broke through that. He said, you know, if he had handcuffs, he could handcuff him and tie him up without any trouble.
I could hear one thing very clearly when he says, "You stupid son of a bitch." What was that about?
He was describing the crime scene, and he had left the room, I guess, and he said that when I walked back in, and he was on his hands and knees.
Is this when he left the room to go get a hammer, he said?
Yes, he was going to try to find something to kill him with quietly. That's what he said on the tape.
So he comes back in
And he said there's a shotgun in the floor, and he saw Mr. King on his hands and knees, and he said, "You stupid SOB," and kicked him in the face.
Then I think, what is it you say to him about the killing?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
What did you say to him on there near the end about the killing in the tape? Something about if you didn't kill him or what?
Yeah, I was just trying to get him to affirm that he killed him, you know, and again, and I said, you know, he left you no choice but to kill him, and he would have killed you if you didn't kill him. He said yes, absolutely, you know, pretty much. And Or I think he said GD sure would.
That's all the questions I have at this point, except I want to make sure that we're clear. The man on that recording, is he present in this courtroom?
Yes, sir.
And could you point him out for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes, sir. It's the defendant in the white shirt.
What's his name?
Shelby Shell.
Thank you, Your Honor, that's all I have.
Cross.
Mr. Collins, you and Ernie Shell were friends, right?
Yes.
And you wrestled together, is that correct?
We wrestled on the same card, yes.
On the same card?
Yes. We never actually wrestled each other, but
About-
we wrestled many times on the same card.
About when did that happen?
2003 and 4.
And in 2013, February of 2013, your phone number was 606-309-0460,
Yes.
is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And Ernie's cell phone number was 606-515-7122, is that correct?
Couldn't tell you. I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
In fact, you and Ernie shared a cell phone plan, is that right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Ernie may have borrowed one of my kids' phones. I've had the same phone numbers for years. I could look at my phone right now and tell you if that's one of my kids' numbers.
That's fine. So Ernie may have borrowed your kid's phone.
Possibly, yes. He still does sometimes.
And you and Ernie and Shelby were moving stuff out of your house, is that right?
Moving stuff in the house.
In the house?
Yes, and that is my daughter Sarah's cell phone number.
Sarah's, okay.
Yes.
So you were moving into a house. Is that the house that the insurance company was paying your rent?
Yes.
And they were paying that rent because your previous house burned down, right?
Yes.
And when that gun went missing, Ernie Shell was there too, right?
Yes.
And when you had conversations in the basement of your, I guess, new house, it was you and Ernie and Shelby. Is that right?
We were the only three who were in there, yes. Ernie was in and out.
Okay. And then sometime after that conversation, you went to Harlan and talked to Trooper Corner.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct?
Yes.
And did I hear you correctly say you talked to Sheriff Marvin Lickford?
He was present. All the interaction took place between myself, my statement was with Mr. Cornett. Marvin Lifford was present.
So in February of 2013, that 606-515-7122 number was a cell phone belonging to your daughter?
Yes.
And Ernie may have been using it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the police never searched your home, did they?
No, sir.
And they never took any one of these phones that I've been talking about?
No, sir.
And they didn't tow your car, did they?
No, sir.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right. With this excuse?
Of course, he may be recalled for rebuttal
All right.
at some point.
You may step down, you need to stick around, you may be recalled. All right, thank you. All right.
Y'all come with cost Michael Cornett.
All right. You're still under oath, Mr.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Can I proceed, Your
Yes.
Honor? Thank you. Mr. Cornett, again, we're picking back up with your investigation in February of 2013 with concerning the death, murder, in fact, of Ronnie King, okay? Previously, from the stand, you had informed us that you had spoken to two individuals, Ernie Shell and then later James Collins. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, having previously stated or informed us about your thoughts concerning Ernie Shell's statements, can you inform the jury about James Collins' statement to you, how that happened, and progress from there?
They came, like I said earlier, they came to State Police Post 10, provided recorder statements. They were individually questioned out of the presence of the other. After I got the information that they had to provide, I allowed them to get in their car and leave. At that time, I contacted State Police Post 7. I asked them to send a trooper to get a physical description of the house, mileage to the house from a certain point, description of the vehicle. That way I could get, based on the information that Ernie Shell and James Collins have provided, I was going to get the information about the resident stuff to obtain a search warrant in an attempt to search Shelby Shell's residence in Berea. Spent the rest of the night typing up a search warrant, talking to the trooper who gave me the information I requested. At that time, Sergeant Jackie Pickrell was driving me. I'd been up all night working on this from the time I got the information. Worked on through the night, getting everything I needed. She was driving. I contacted James Collins when I got near Corbin. He informed me of the recording that he had. I arranged to meet with him at the Love's gas station in Corbin underneath the underpass. Met with him, listened to the recording. He turned over the digital recording device to me. At that time, before leaving the parking lot, I contacted the State Police Post 10 Harlan. I think it was Sergeant or Lieutenant Jason Adams, had him to obtain an arrest warrant for Shelby Shell for the charges that we're here on today. Contacted the special response team, had them in the bushes watching Mr. Shell, make sure I knew where he was at and where his whereabouts were. I went to the courthouse in Madison County in Richmond. I had a judge sign the search warrant. Once I was informed that the arrest warrants had been obtained in Harlan, I notified Sergeant Pickrell, who informed the SRT, and they placed him under arrest while I was on my way to the residence from Richmond to Berea. When I got to Berea, I read the search warrant to Mr. Shell and executed the search warrant, committed searching his person, his car, and his residence.
Okay, so we've been talking for a couple of days now about actions that you've undertaken throughout the course of this investigation. Can you tell us from the time way back when yesterday you were telling us that you had arrived at the scene of the crime in Harlan County, Kentucky, to Ronnie King's residence, to the time when you're headed to Richmond, Berea, to do what you just stated that you've done? How long has that taken?
I got the call, I think, on the 18th and went to Shelby Shell's residence on the 25th. So what is that? 8 days, 7, 8 days?
7, 8 days. Okay. So then, let me ask you this question. From the time you get the information or speak to Ernie Shell, and then subsequently James Collins, how long from those points until the end of what you just stated right there with your presence in Berea, Kentucky?
It had been hours.
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 Okay. Did the course of your investigation change when you were informed of the statements of, well, first the statement of Ernie Shell,
Yes.
and subsequent to that, what about James Collins?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when you first talked to those two individuals, did the recording that was just played here earlier between James Collins and Shelby Shell, did that exist?
No, it did not.
Okay. Can you tell me how that occurred, when that happened? Because earlier you were talking about speaking to individually Ernie Shell and then James Collins, and then later we have a recording. How did that come about?
Mr. Collins asked if I had a recording device that he could use, that he thought he could get a recorded phone call of Shelby Shell talking about the incident. I told him I didn't have one. He took it upon his own to stop at Walmart, I think he testified to in Corbin, and obtained made the recording of the conversation, and then made that available to me on the 25th of February.
Now, when he handed you the recording, did you listen to it?
I did, yes sir. I listened to it in the parking lot with Mr. Collins present, so he could tell me who he was talking to.
Okay. And how did that affect your investigation? Listening to that recording between James Collins and Shelby Shell?
It led me to the conclusion that Shelby Shell had murdered Ronnie King, at which time I directed personnel in Harlan to obtain arrest warrants for that charge.
Was it just the recording of Shelby Shell that led you to that conclusion?
No, sir. The information provided by Ernie Shell and Mr. Collins, along with the recording.
Okay. The recording and the two statements from Ernie Shell and James Collins, in your opinion, did they interact with one another?
You mean, did they have the same?
I'm asking you if they had any relationship to each other. I'm not stating did they anything other than did they have some type of context with one another?
They were basically the same. The stories were the same, told separately.
Okay. So the story told to you by Ernie Shell, you're stating was basically the same as the story told by you by James Collins?
Yes, sir.
And are you subsequent to that stating that the story told in the conversation between James Collins and the defendant Shelby Shell, did that match up with what had been told to you by Ernie Shell and James Collins?
Yes, the recorded phone call corroborated both of their statements.
Okay. Okay. Your Honor, may we approach?
Mm-hmm.